Hey everybody, we actually have a pretty big update in the whole Justin Roiland situation. So ahead of his domestic violence trial, Adult Swim has ended their contract with Justin Roiland. He will no longer return for Rick and Morty. So to be very clear, Rick and Morty has just fired Rick and Morty. Now, this is the reason why this matters, because yes, Dan Harmon is a co-creator on Rick and Morty. So it's not like you're losing everybody, but he literally voices just about every single side character in the show. Not every single one, but he voices a ton of the characters on the show, including Rick and Morty. So they literally fired Rick and Morty. I don't know how to feel about this because there are certainly things that I think are super questionable here. I haven't seen the evidence of what actually happened with the domestic violence charge. I know what he is accused of doing, but until the trial comes out, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to see what they actually have on him. I know he is pleading not guilty. I know that they wanted him to take a plea deal. He didn't do that, and now it's going to trial. Maybe he is innocent. I don't know. It does kind of look sketchy for him with all of the other stuff that kind of came out about him from the past. I will say that maybe there is an explanation for it. I would struggle to think of what that explanation could actually be. If we're gonna have like an actual conversation of what's morally correct or incorrect here, is it right if a company fires somebody because they are accused of a crime, charged with the crime, but have not been convicted of the crime? I get Rick and Morty would be a little bit of a different thing because having his name attached in the public eye could absolutely harm the show. But also, it seems like no matter what, the show is at jeopardy. You fire Justin Roiland, you lose a lot of what makes Rick and Morty. And maybe that's what needs to happen because, if he's guilty, that absolutely is going to happen. But if he's innocent, and again, I'm just saying this because I haven't seen the evidence, but if he is innocent, are they going to bring him back and apologize, or do they just take it over and he sits out in the wind with nothing he can do? Because again, there's all this other stuff that came out later, and it makes him look really creepy and sketchy. I am curious what you guys have to say, so do me a favor. If you've made it up to this point in the video, leave a comment and tell me what you think is the right thing to do here. Do you fire somebody who is just accused of a crime and charged with the crime but hasn't been convicted? Or do we not do that and we allow someone to keep their job until they actually are terminated because, they were found guilty? I don't know what makes the most sense, especially in this situation. But to be clear, still haven't seen the evidence, so I don't know. I don't know how the trial is going to play out. I just know that Justin Roiland in the public eye is seen as 150% completely guilty. And that doesn't mean we can't read through some of these fun comments. So, Baller BR, this is like George Floyd for white people. Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. Or how about the new season is fire? I mean, that's one way of doing it. That is one way of doing it. I don't know how you're going to replace the voices. I know there's like one guy people have been pointing out and going like, oh, his voice, he sounds very, very similar to how Justin Roiland does the voices. I think that you can find someone to do the voices. I just think that there's no denying it's going to sound weird, especially at the start. Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland are sickos. Remember the creepy pedo character that assaults Morty, King Jellybean? He comes from a short by Justin Roiland in which the same character kidnaps and cuts the faces off the two children and wears them. I honestly didn't know that. I didn't. But at the same time, I don't know if that's really what's going on here. I think Mr. Jellybean is just a self-insert of Justin Roiland into the series. But anyways, guys, what do you think about this situation? Obviously, it's difficult if you're a fan of the show. Like, there's really nothing you can do here. I'm more curious of what your thoughts are on on terminating someone who actually hasn't been charged, who hasn't actually been convicted of a crime. Now being charged with the crime, I can understand that, but again, that's still until it's proven, you are supposed to be seen as innocent. So I'm sort of torn on this one, guys. You let me know what you think in the comments.